I've been a builder in Minecraft for years at this point, and last year I set out on the journey of building my perfect Minecraft city. Almost 200 hours later and a disturbing lack of sunlight, I built something that I could have never imagined. Today, we're going to be building the part of the city that everybody looks at first, the skyscrapers, so let's get into it. So the first thing that I did was build the train station. Here, I wanted commuter and high-speed rail to connect in one mega station with 6 platforms. Since this area is going to be the most important part of the city, there had to be a lot of capacity, which is why when building this, I made sure to make this as modern and spacious as possible. This is honestly a really fun build, as I let my inner nerd run free with working trains. If you didn't know, this is a mod called Minecraft Transit Railway, which is one that I definitely recommend because of how realistic everything is. Next, I began planning out the layout for the buildings, and if you're wondering, no, I did not stick to this, and I did it purely for the video. Initially, I planned on building 24 skyscrapers to make a beautiful clickbaity title, but then I simply couldn't be asked. Yeah, that's my excuse. Then I got to work on the first skyscraper, which I wanted to be pretty basic, as I wanted to mass produce these as quickly as I could. Looking back on this build, I'm realizing that this is probably the most underwhelming way to start off a mega build like this, as it's literally just glass, stone, glass, and you guessed it, more glass. Next, I built some mid-rises surrounding this. I used a block palette of cyan concrete and deep slate, and I honestly thought that the buildings looked quite good, especially the second building by the water. After that, I began building the second skyscraper, which I planned on making the tallest in the city for now. I actually built an extra entrance to my subway station inside this building, which I think is pretty neat. The method I used to not make the design of this build too repetitive was tidying the same window frame, but manipulating and changing up the shape as the building gets taller. Also, if you're enjoying the video, please consider leaving a like and commenting, it would really help out. Anyways, back to the video. After this skyscraper, I decided to finish off the highway that just ends at this bridge. I continued it with a huge roundabout with a tower in the middle. Realistically, this would create infinite traffic, but I couldn't care less because this is Minecraft and nothing is real. I decided not to purposely bulldoze as many minority buildings here, and I think America could learn from that. Then, for parking, I decided to build a multi-story garage, as I'd rather not have my whole city be a service car park. This is the first time I ever built one of these, and I think it came out looking pretty cool. Next, it was time for the third skyscraper, and this one ended up being my personal favourite. It's made of deep slate in the ultra creative shape of rectangles. I broke it up with whatever you'd call these, and it ended up looking pretty sleek if I do say so myself. Next to this, I built a mid-rise. Honestly, there is absolutely nothing to say here, it's a building made of glass and that's about it. Then, I built another skyscraper. I built it using essentially the same formula as the last. I know, I'm just a sucking void of creativity. It ended up having this alien look to it, which I'm not sure if I like, so let me know in the comments how you feel about it. After this, I built a little plaza. And here, I took inspiration from the one in City Skylines 2, which I actually have a series on, so go check that out. There isn't really much to say here as it's a pretty basic build. Next, I built up a few mid-rises by the railway. Yes, I'm aware that having a wall right next to a railway track is unrealistic, I do not care. This is meant to be an older building, and a shorter one as well. I also built a couple shop fronts outside, to make the area seem a little bit more lively. Then I got to building the second mid-rise, which was meant to be a more modern building, built in a slightly older style. I used a reference image which I cannot be bothered to find, but it really helped me to create a pretty cool building. One thing that I find pretty amusing is that the railway track literally runs through this building's basement, so that would provide some pretty cool views. And with that, the build was complete. Next, I built up the final skyscraper, next to the mid-rises. This was meant to look more simple and boxy, which I achieved through using a bunch of frames with glass stayed on top. This kind of reminds me of the rule form follows function, which can sometimes create pretty ugly buildings, but here it looks quite cool. For the last build, I just built a pretty boring mid-rise, which is probably not the best way to end this project. You may notice that the interiors are pretty empty, so let me know if you want to see me complete those. I'll do this on livestream if we hit 10,000 subs, a totally reasonable goal. Anyways, enough yapping, let's do a cinematic. Alright, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. If you made it this far, you might as well subscribe.